All right, everybody, welcome back into Sports Drive. Joining us now from the Canyon Track and Field team, Abree Winfrey. Abree, thanks so much for making the time and coming on the show. We appreciate it. We know it's a big week for you guys.
Of course. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
So, Abree, I want to talk a little bit. We'll start with last week a little bit, the area meet at WT for you guys. Obviously, you run in 3 events, and I believe you finished in first in all of them, 2 individual and 1 relay with your team. Just talk to me a little bit about how last week went for you guys, how you prepared for it, and how you felt about your performance.
Oh, man. Well, last week was awesome, not just for me, but for my team as well. It was a great week. We had a ton of PRs. We had great weather, which doesn't happen very often. So it was definitely a fun day for everyone. We all really enjoyed it. And then it was great. We had a hard week of workouts that week, and Baca's just trying to get us ready for every meet as we go. And at the end of the day, we're just getting ready for the most important meet. So that's what we're doing.
And, you know, Coach Baca did mention what you had just mentioned a minute ago, just the weather that it was like at the meet and how that led to a lot of PRs. Talk to me a little bit about what that means for you as a runner and how that specific weather that you guys got on that day was able to lend itself to you guys having more success out there.
I mean, most definitely. I mean, we live in the Panhandle, so we know the weather is up and down 24/7. And to have a day where it's not super hot, it's not windy, it's not raining on us, where it's just perfect weather, and runners to go out there and run in that, it's amazing, and we love that. I mean, we have practice in an hour, and it's about to rain outside. So, you know, we're always dealing with all kinds of different weather, but it's nice every now and then to have a meet where you don't have to worry about that, for sure.
For you as a runner, what's most difficult in terms of, you know, the weather aspect? I mean, you talk about it could be raining or, you know, any number of things. But when you mentioned there the temperature and the wind, between those two, which is the biggest factor you feel like in performance, depending on, you know, the specific day?
I would say for us, probably temperature, mainly because we're so accustomed to the wind. Because with temperature, most of the time we don't get that much heat until it gets later on in the season, and then we start to hit these back meets and we're like, oh my gosh, it's 80 degrees out here and we've never practiced in this, so we're not really used to that. Whereas wind, we have 24/7, so it's probably temperature is the one we struggle with the most, for sure.
And, you know, when you talk about potentially, you know, going down to regionals, going Lubbock, but really the possibility of going to state and going further south and running in temperatures that you're not as used to all season, how are you guys even able to prepare for that, knowing that, you know, that's something that's hard to prepare for when, you know, you're just kind of at the mercy of whatever the temperature is on any given day that you're training?
I mean, most definitely. It's a little nerve-wracking, but at the same time, like we said, we're starting to get farther in the year, so we are starting to get some hotter days. And it's kind of helped us too when we've had some workouts where we don't have school, so we work out later, so it's a little bit hotter. And then at the end of the day, just telling everyone how important it is to stay hydrated. And that's Baca's one of his 2 main things is sleep and then staying hydrated. Because at the end of the day, when we get down to state, that's what we're gonna need that behind us. Otherwise, we probably won't be okay.
I was going to say, I didn't know if you were going to mention that you know, you just put a treadmill inside and your dad cranks the heat up to 85 and just sees how you handle it. I did want to mention that, though, you know, it seems like you're in your dad's office now. I'm used to talking to him in this office.
Yeah.
You know, I do want to ask you a little bit about that. Obviously, we saw him out there, you know, at the track meet while you guys were at WT, you know, celebrating with you after each race, but not just you, your teammates as well, coming up to everybody and just, you know, congratulating everybody on their great races. And, you know, he's talked a lot about, every time I talk to him, he says, well, she gets her athleticism. All my girls get their athleticism from their mom, not me. That's where they get it from. But I did see a little bit of your dad come out when you were cheering on, I think it was River on the boys team when he was running, and you get right up against the track and you were screaming, come on, River, you gotta do it. And I was like, that's her dad right there. I know maybe the running was her mom, but that was her dad.
Yes,
so talk to me a little bit about what it's been like to have both of them supporting you in this athletic journey. I know your sisters obviously are great athletes as well, and how you feel like being in that athletic family has helped you have so much success.
I mean, most definitely. It's awesome. I mean, I have a mom who's a physical therapist, so any type of pain I'm feeling, I'm like, Mom, please fix me. And she's like, sit down, I'll take care of it. And then having my dad here at the school is awesome. We always see him. His office is right next to where we are, so we're always walking through. We always see him in the mornings. If we're going down to the track, he waves at all of us. We're all like, oh my gosh, it's 6 in the morning. He's like, it's a great morning to go run, and we're like, oh my gosh. But just having that support there is awesome. I mean, they're both always there, so supportive. And like you said, I'm in a family that has some great athletes, and that's so. While some people might think, sure, it can be tough sometimes because they're like, oh my gosh, but we just have such a competitive but like mindset, but it's such a good bond too, and we all love it, and it's great to be a part of it. I love it.
I did want to ask you too about Lucas Kinsey, one of the media guys around the area, a great guy. He had tweeted a little bit last week, and I meant to respond to him. I'll have to do it after after this, but he had tweeted about just how supportive you were of your teammates, after each race. And, I think everybody noticed it. As soon as you finished a race, you turned around to see where your teammates were finishing and hug them and congratulate them on their races. So what would you say about why you feel like that is the first thing on your mind when you finish a race, where a lot of runners would be thinking about their performance, where they finished, what their time is? It seems like the first thing that comes to your mind is checking on your teammates and being there for them. How did that kind of develop and become so important for you?
Well, I'm sure a lot of it has to do with the just team chemistry and the program that Baca has built up. And then at the end of the day, I mean, sure, people might think track's an individual sport, but we're going to win a state championship. And so at the end of the day, what's most important is my teammates and how well they do. And I'm not just worried about my success, because I want all my teammates to succeed. We go through all the hard workouts together, all the easy days, all the rough days, all the windy, rainy days, like at the end of the day, it's not fun if you don't have other people that you can celebrate with. So that's why, I mean, it's probably like the most important to me. And I mean, I love all my teammates, and I want every single one of us to get down to state. And that's, yeah.
How would you kind of, assess what you feel like the regional meet is looking like? I know obviously you've been here before. You're kind of used to going to regionals and that whole experience going to state, and that the setup of that and how to prepare for that. So how is it kind of shaping up to you in terms of what you've seen maybe from some of the other runners' times and what you guys are going to need to do in order to have that same success that you had at WT down in Lubbock?
Well, obviously it's not going to be easy. It's the regional meet, so I think we're all prepared to go in with the mindset of we gotta do our best if we want to make it to state, and I think we're ready for that. And Baca's putting us through a hard week as always to prepare us, and then I think we just got to go in there with some confidence, but also some calmness. I mean, this is nothing different than any other meet. We can't go and we can't lose our heads and start freaking out because it's the regional meet, We've already run here before, so that kind of helps, especially some of the younger girls, that at least it's a familiar track. And like you said, I've run here before past couple of years, so very familiar. We know what's going to happen, so we just have to go out there. We just have to know what we know, and just do what Baca's taught us.
I do want to ask you about one of your teammates who had a great area meet as well, Addison Bristow. Obviously, one of those younger players you're talking about, or one of those younger athletes, just a freshman. Obviously, you're kind of, I imagine, the senior mentor for her. What's it been like to kind of, see her progression this year? Coach Baca talked a lot about how much better she's gotten over the course of the year. And, what do you feel like it's been like for you to kind of be that mentor for her, knowing that she's going to be the one to kind of take the baton from you and try to, so to speak, and a manner of speaking, and try to keep the success for Canyon Track and Field going once you're graduating and at Kansas?
For sure, it's awesome. I mean, I'm so proud of Addie, and she's done huge, and she's worked, like we said, working out with me the entire, and she just keeps improving every time. And to have someone come up there like that, even she's like a little sister to me almost, and so to see her improve every week is awesome, and I'm really proud of her, and she has some big things coming for sure.
All right, Abree, well, thanks so much. We appreciate it. Once again, Abree Winfrey, state champion down last year in Texas, and obviously Kansas commit as well. So thank you so much for taking the time. We appreciate it, and good luck this week in Lubbock.
Of course, thank y'all so much. I appreciate it.
All right, we'll be right back to wrap things up on Sports Drive after the break.